12 artists who built Motown into the most powerful black-owned business in America, 12 careers that should have lasted decades. But here's what the history books don't tell you. It wasn't just contracts. It wasn't just money. It wasn't even about the music. By the time Berry Gordy was done, some of them were dead, some were broke, and all of them learned the same lesson the hard way. Let me show you what really happened. Number 12, the Funk Brothers. They played on more #1 hits than the Beatles, Elvis Presley, and the Rolling Stones combined. And Berry Gordy made sure you never knew their names. James Jamerson, Benny Benjamin, Earl Van Dyke. The Funk Brothers created the Motown sound. Every bass line you remember, every drum fill that made you move, every keyboard run that gave you chills, that was them. Not some session players Berry brought in once or twice. These were the architects. They built the foundation of every song that made Motown a household name. But here's what Berry Gordy decided. Session musicians didn't deserve credit. So for over a decade, they went uncredited on every single record, paid $52.50 per 3-hour session, while Berry counted millions. No royalties, no recognition, just come in, play, and leave. Jamerson played bass on My Girl, What's Going On, I Heard It Through the Grapevine. Songs that are still generating money today. Songs that defined a generation. He got paid once. Berry Gordy's been collecting ever since. Then in 1972, Berry decided to move Motown to Los Angeles. He wanted to make movies, wanted Hollywood. And how did the Funk Brothers find out? From a note taped to the studio door. That's it. No meeting, no thank you. Just a piece of paper that said the building was closing. James Jamerson followed Berry to LA anyway. Tried to make it work. By 1983, he was dead at 47. Cirrhosis, alcoholism, died broke and forgotten. And if you've ever wondered why someone that talented would drink themselves to death, maybe it's because Berry Gordy spent 13 years making sure the world never knew his name. They got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2000. James Jamerson couldn't be there to see it. Neither could Benny Benjamin, or Richard Pistol Allen, or most of the others who built the Motown sound. Recognition came. It just came too late, and Berry Gordy never apologized for any of it. Number 11, the Four Tops. Only 9% of you are subscribed. That hurts. We're spending hours digging through archives, fact-checking every detail, bringing these stories back to life. And if you're watching this far, you clearly care. So hit subscribe. It's free and takes 2 seconds. Now, to my subscribers, barely any of you have joined the membership. And honestly, that stings even more. You know the work we put in. You keep coming back. If these videos have ever made you feel something, if this music means something to you, join the membership. It's $1 coffee a month, and it's the only way we keep this going. Let's build this together. All right, back to it. Number 10, the Marvelettes. Please, Mr. Postman, Motown's first #1 pop single, December 1961. The song that proved Berry Gordy's business model could work, and the Marvelettes were just teenagers when they recorded it. Gladys Horton, Katherine Anderson, Wanda Young, Georgiana Tillman, 4 girls from Inkster, Michigan, who gave Motown its first major crossover hit, and Berry Gordy responded by forgetting they existed. After Please Mr. Postman, they had Playboy, Beechwood 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, Too Many Fish in the Sea, hit after hit in the early 60s. They were Motown's first successful female group, before the Supremes, before Martha and the Vandellas. The Marvelettes opened the door. But once Diana Ross and the Supremes started hitting, Berry shifted all his attention there. The Marvelettes kept recording, kept touring, but the promotional support disappeared. The best songs went to the Supremes, the best producers went to the Supremes. The Marvelettes got whatever was left over. Georgiana Tillman had sickle cell anemia and lupus. By 1965, she was so sick she couldn't tour anymore. And here's what Berry Gordy did about it. Nothing. She left the group. No support, no help, just gone. She died in 1980 at 36 years old. The group struggled with poor promotion, pay discrepancies, and internal complications for years. They felt abandoned by the people they'd entrusted their careers with. When Motown moved to LA in 1972, the Marvelettes broke up for good. Then in 1987, the surviving members sued Motown for unpaid royalties. Not millions, just what they were owed. And the case settled in 1989. And if you've ever wondered why Berry Gordy's first successful girl group had to sue him 25 years later just to get paid, that's the answer. He didn't pay them in the first place. They gave him his first number one. He gave them nothing but a lawsuit. Number 9, Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye married Berry Gordy's sister Anna in 1963, and that's when Berry Gordy thought he owned him. Marvin wanted to be a crooner, wanted to sing jazz standards like Sinatra, but Berry said no. You're doing pop and R&B, that's what sells. So Marvin recorded what Berry wanted. How Sweet It Is, I'll Be Doggone, Ain't That Peculiar. Duets with Mary Wells, Tammy Terrell, Kim Weston. Berry controlled every move. Then in 1970, Tammy Terrell died of a brain tumor, and Marvin stopped performing live. He was grieving, he was disillusioned, and he wanted to make music that mattered. He wrote, "What's Going On?" Berry Gordy hated it. Too political, too risky, refused to release it. And here's where the story gets interesting. Marvin threatened to never record for Motown again unless Berry released the song. So Berry finally gave in. What's Going On became one of the most important albums in music history. It redefined what Marvin Gaye could be. It redefined what Motown could be. And Berry Gordy fought it every step of the way. By the mid-70s, Marvin was dealing with divorce from Anna Gordy, tax debts, and cocaine addiction. And Berry's response was to pressure him for more commercial material, more hits, more product. Marvin channeled his pain into Here, My Dear, an album about his divorce from Berry's own sister. Raw, honest, brutal. Berry hated it, said it was uncommercial, and he was right. It flopped. But Marvin didn't care anymore. He'd realized something important. Berry Gordy didn't care about artistry. He cared about money. In 1982, Marvin left Motown for Columbia Records. And the first thing he did, sexual healing. Number 1, Grammy wins, a comeback at 43 years old. Everything Berry said couldn't worked perfectly once Marvin got away from him. 2 years later, Marvin Gaye was dead, shot by his father. But before he died, he'd proven Berry Gordy wrong about everything. Number 8, David Ruffin. David Ruffin had the voice. My girl ain't too proud to beg. I wish it would rain. The Temptations' greatest hits. And by 1967, David Ruffin knew he was the reason people came to see them. So he started asking for more. Wanted his own limousine instead of riding with the group. Started dating Tammy Terrell publicly, making headlines. And here's the big one. He wanted the group renamed David Ruffin and the Temptations, just like Berry had done with Diana Ross and the Supremes. But there was a difference. Diana Ross was sleeping with Berry Gordy. David Ruffin was asking Berry Gordy for an accounting of the group's earnings. And that's the part Berry couldn't tolerate. Berry refused. The other Temptations were getting tired of David's behavior. The cocaine didn't help, but the real issue was David demanding to know where the money was going. And in June 1968, Berry had him fired. David went solo, had some hits. My Whole World Ended reached number 9 in 1969, but he never regained what he had with the Temptations. And the whole time, the cocaine problem got worse. In 1989, David was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with the Temptations. 2 years later, he collapsed in a Philadelphia crack house and died of a cocaine overdose at 50 years old. Dropped off at a hospital hours later, already dead. And here's what gets me about this. David Ruffin's addiction was real. His behavior was problematic. But the reason Berry Gordy fired him wasn't the drugs. It was the questions about money. The drugs made it easy to justify, but the questions made it necessary. Berry could tolerate addiction. He couldn't tolerate accountability. And if you've ever wondered why so many Motown artists ended up broke or dead, it's because Berry Gordy built a system where questioning him was more dangerous than destroying yourself. David Ruffin destroyed himself, but Berry Gordy created the environment where that was the easier path. Number 7, Gladys Knight and the Pips. Gladys Knight and the Pips recorded I Heard It Through the Grapevine with Norman Whitfield. Number 1 on the R&B chart. Number 2 on the pop chart. 2.5 million copies sold. The biggest hit Motown had in 1967. Then Berry Gordy released Marvin Gaye's version. Same song, same production style. And Marvin's version outsold theirs. Became the definitive version, the one everyone remembers. That's when Gladys Knight realized what Berry Gordy thought of them. They were second tier, the leftovers. And here's what Berry himself said. He kept Gladys Knight and the Pips for the songs the top tier artists didn't want. The Temptations, Marvin Gaye, Diana Ross, and the Supremes got first choice. Gladys got what was left. And you know what's wild about that? He said he's going back to find. Gladys Knight and the Pips were fantastic. If I Were Your Woman, Neither One of Us, The Nitty Gritty. They delivered hit after hit. But Berry had already decided they weren't his priority, so no amount of success changed By 1972, the group was frustrated. Not enough promotion, not enough support, and the royalty payments didn't match the record sales. So they started asking Berry Gordy to explain the numbers. And that's when Berry stopped returning their calls. In early 1973, Gladys Knight and the Pips left Motown and signed with Buddha Records. And almost immediately they had Midnight Train to Georgia, #1 pop, #1 R&B, Grammy winner, the biggest hit of their career. And it happened within months of leaving Berry Gordy. Later, Gladys said they would have stayed with Motown if they'd been treated right, if Berry had given them the respect they deserved. But Berry Gordy doesn't respect artists. He tolerates them as long as they're making him money and not asking questions. The moment you start asking questions, you're out. And Gladys Knight was smart enough to leave before Berry pushed her. Number 6, Martha Reeves and the Vandellas. Martha Reeves wasn't supposed to be a singer at Motown. She was Berry Gordy's secretary, answered phones, handled auditions. But one day in 1962, Mary Wells didn't show up for a session with Marvin Gaye, and Martha stepped in. That session turned into I'll Have to Let Him Go. And suddenly Martha had a group, Martha and the Vandellas. Come and get these memories. Heat Wave, Dancing in the Street, Nowhere to Run, hit after hit between 1963 and 1967. At one point, they were neck and neck with the Supremes as Motown's top female group. But here's what Martha saw happening. Berry was promoting Diana Ross. Not just the Supremes, Diana specifically. And Martha knew why. Diana was sleeping with Berry. That's how you got the best songs, the best promotion, the prime spots on tour. You slept with the boss. Martha didn't. So Martha got less. And every time she spoke up about it, Berry Gordy made her life harder. By the late 60s, Martha was dealing with creative differences with Berry and struggling with drug addiction. And instead of helping her, Berry just moved on to the next act. When he announced Motown was moving to Los Angeles in 1972, Martha and the Vandellas broke up. They couldn't follow him to California, and Berry wasn't interested in keeping them anyway. Martha suffered a nervous breakdown. The pressure of watching Berry Gordy give everything to Diana Ross while Martha fought for scraps had finally broken her. She went solo in the 70s but never recaptured her Vandellas success. And in 1989, she and the former Vandellas sued Motown for back royalties. The case settled in 1991, and once again Berry Gordy paid out rather than explain where all the money went. Martha Reeves gave Berry Gordy some of the most iconic songs in Motown's catalog. Dancing in the Street is still played at every major event in America, and Berry responded by promoting Diana Ross and leaving Martha to sue for what she was owed. Number 5, Brenda Holloway. Brenda Holloway was Motown's first West Coast signing, 1964. Berry Gordy found her in Los Angeles and saw potential. She was 17 years old. To me, darling, you'll see, I can... Every Little Bit Hurts went to number 13 on the pop chart, her second single for Motown. And suddenly Brenda was being groomed as Mary Wells' replacement. Then in 1965, she opened for the Beatles on their U.S. tour, played Shea Stadium, 55,000 people. At 18 years old, Brenda Holloway was performing in front of the biggest crowds in music history.
I can't go on giving my life away.
And Berry Gordy should have capitalized on that momentum, should have given her the best songs, the best producers, everything she needed to become a superstar. Instead, he focused on Diana Ross, and Brenda watched from Los Angeles as Berry gave everything to Detroit artists while she got ignored. Here's what Berry said to her. He wanted to prepare her for a Las Vegas residency, wanted to make her the next big solo act, but Brenda wanted to write her own material, wanted creative control, and Berry Gordy doesn't give creative control. So Brenda's song sat on the shelf. Her second album kept getting delayed, and the few singles Motown released weren't promoted. She co-wrote You've Made Me So Very Happy with her sister Patrice in 1967. Berry Gordy put his name on it as a co-writer, even though he barely touched it, just so he could collect publishing royalties. The song reached number 39. 2 years later, Blood, Sweat and Tears covered it and took it to number 2. Brenda's version was better, but Berry never promoted it properly. In 1968, Brenda was in the studio with Smokey Robinson, and in the middle of the session, she just walked out. Didn't say goodbye, didn't finish the track, just left. Motown's PR department released a statement saying Brenda had left to sing for God, that she'd become too religious for secular music, and that was a lie. Brenda left because Berry Gordy had ignored her for 4 years while promoting Diana Ross.
To me, darling, you'll see.
Because he'd stolen songwriting credit from her, because he'd shelved her albums and wasted her career, she sued Berry Gordy in 1969 for the rights to You've Made Me So Very Happy, and she won. Berry had to give her back her own song. That's how bad it was. Number 4, Kim Weston.
One can wish upon a star.
Kim Weston had one of the most powerful voices at Motown. Pure soul, raw, unfiltered, the kind of voice that couldn't be ignored, but Berry Gordy ignored it anyway. She signed with Motown in 1961. Her first single, Love Me All the Way, reached number 24 R&B, a solid debut. Then in 1964, Berry paired her with Marvin Gaye for duets, What Good Am I Without You, and then the album Take Two in 1966.
Make a wish come true, yeah. One can stand alone.
It Takes Two became a top 20 pop hit. Kim Weston was positioned to be a major star. But here's what Berry did instead.
One can have a dream, baby.
He took the duet concept that worked with Kim and gave it to Tammy Terrell. And Tammy got the promotion, the best songs, the career Kim should have had. Berry shelved Kim's solo material. Her second album kept getting delayed. Her singles weren't promoted. And Kim's husband, Mickey Stevenson, was Motown's A&R head. He saw everything happening behind the scenes, saw Berry manipulating the royalty payments, saw artists being underpaid, and when Mickey started asking questions, Berry froze him out too.
Me and you.
In 1967, Mickey Stevenson got an offer to run his own label with MGM Records in Los Angeles, and Kim made a choice. She left Motown with him. Left at the peak of It Takes Two success because she knew staying meant watching Berry Gordy waste her career. And Berry responded by essentially blacklisting her.
it ain't true, baby.
Motown still owned her recordings, still controlled her publishing, and Berry made sure radio stations knew Kim Weston was no longer a priority. Her MGM singles went nowhere, not because they were bad, because Berry Gordy quietly made sure she failed.
Being in love can save how it really is. Yeah.
Kim sued Motown for unpaid royalties, and she won. Berry paid her what she was owed, rather than face a public trial where the accounting books would be examined. That's what it came down to. Kim Weston had to take Berry Gordy to court just to get the money she'd already earned. And the worst part, Kim's voice deserved so much more. She had the talent to be as big as Aretha Franklin. But she questioned Berry Gordy's business practices, and that was the end of her career. Number 3, Holland-Dozier-Holland.
I've got this yearning, burning, yearning, feeling.
Brian Holland, Lamont Dozier, Eddie Holland, the songwriting and production team that created the Motown sound. Where did our love go, baby love? Stop, in the name of love. You can't hurry, love. Reach out, I'll be there. Heat Wave, song after song after song. The Supremes' entire run of number ones. The Four Tops' biggest hits. Martha and the Vandellas' greatest records.
You wanna leave me behind, baby, baby. Ooh.
Between 1963 and 1967, Holland-Dozier-Holland were responsible for 25 top 10 hits. They weren't just successful, they were essential. Without them, Motown doesn't become Motown. Without them, Berry Gordy is just another guy with a record label. And by 1967, they wanted to be paid like the essential architects they were. They asked Berry for a bigger share of the royalties. Not all of it, just more. A fair percentage based on what they were generating for the company. Berry Gordy said no, and here's his reasoning. He owned Motown. He took the risk. He built the infrastructure. So he deserved the lion's share of every dollar. Holland-Dozier-Holland were just employees. Replaceable.
Baby, don't leave me. Ooh, please don't leave.
So in late 1967, Eddie Holland convinced Brian and Lamont to stage a work slowdown. They stopped producing, stopped writing, stopped showing up to sessions. And Berry's response was to sue them for breach of contract. Holland-Dozier-Holland countersued. They left Motown in early 1968 and started their own labels, Invictus and Hot Wax Records. And the lawsuit dragged on for nearly 10 years, one of the longest legal battles in music industry history.
I've got this yearning, burning, yearning, feeling.
Berry spent millions fighting them, and in the end, the case settled in 1977. The terms were never disclosed. But here's what happened to Motown after Holland-Dozier-Holland left.
Where did our love go? Ooh, don't you want?
The Supremes' first single without them was Some Things You Never Get Used To. It peaked at number 30, their lowest chart position since 1963. The Four Tops couldn't find the same magic. The Motown sound started to fade.
All by myself.
Berry replaced them with Norman Whitfield, who took Motown in a psychedelic direction. It worked for some acts, but it wasn't the same. The hits kept coming, but the golden era was over. And Holland-Dozier-Holland proved they didn't need Motown. Give Me Just a Little More Time by Chairman of the Board. Want Ads by Honeycomb. Band of Gold by Freda Payne. They kept making hits without Berry Gordy. Because the truth is, Berry Gordy didn't make Holland-Dozier-Holland successful. They made Berry Gordy successful. And the moment they realized that he tried to destroy them. Number 2, Mary Wells. Mary Wells saved Motown. That's not an exaggeration. In 1960, Berry Gordy's label was failing. He had more misses than hits, and the money was running out. Then 17-year-old Mary Wells walked into Hitsville, USA, with a song she'd written called Bye Bye Baby, and Berry signed her on the spot. That song became Motown's second hit. Then came The One Who Really Loves You, You Beat Me to the Punch, Two Lovers. And in 1964, My Guy, #1 pop, #1 R&B. Mary Wells was the first major star of Motown, before the Supremes, before the Temptations. Mary Wells put Berry Gordy on the map, and here's how she got repaid. At 21 years old, with the biggest hit of her career at #1, Mary Wells asked Berry to renegotiate her contract. She'd signed when she was 17, a minor, and under Michigan law, that contract wasn't valid. Berry knew she was right. He knew the contract wouldn't hold up in court, but he fought her anyway, sued her for breach of contract, tried to block her from signing with another label. And when 20th Century Fox bought out her Motown deal, Berry made sure every radio station knew Mary Wells was disloyal. He blacklisted her, quietly, subtly, but effectively. And Mary's career at 20th Century Fox went nowhere. Not because the music was bad, because Berry Gordy made sure radio wouldn't play her. And once word got out that leaving Motown meant career death, other artists stopped trying. Mary spent the next 20 years chasing the success she'd had at Motown. She recorded for multiple labels, toured relentlessly, but she never had another top 10 hit. By the 80s, she was performing oldies shows, trying to survive on nostalgia. In 1990, she was diagnosed with throat cancer. No health insurance, no money for treatment, and Berry Gordy, the man who'd built his empire on her voice, didn't help. Smokey Robinson organized benefits. Other Motown artists raised money, but Berry stayed silent. Mary Wells died July 26, 1992, at 49 years old, and at her funeral, Berry Gordy finally paid for something. He paid for the funeral, not because he felt guilty, because the optics of Motown's first star being buried in a pauper's grave would have been bad for business. That's who Berry Gordy is. He'll bury you. He just won't help you live. #1, Florence Ballard. Florence Ballard founded the Supremes, not Diana Ross. Flo. She recruited Mary Wilson. She brought Diana into the group. She had the strongest voice. According to Otis Williams of the Temptations, Flo's voice had a real depth of feeling and a strong churchy sound. When she opened her mouth to sing, you sat up in your chair. But Berry Gordy had started sleeping with Diana Ross, and once that happened, Flo's days were numbered. Berry changed the group's lead singer to Diana. Then he renamed them Diana Ross and the Supremes. And Flo watched as Diana got everything. The spotlight, the best songs, Berry's attention, while Flo stood in the background and sang harmony. By 1967, the pressure was destroying her. She started drinking, missing rehearsals, gaining weight, and Berry used all of it as ammunition. Told her she was overweight, told her she wasn't at the microphone right, told her she was the problem. Then on July 1st, 1967, the day after her 24th birthday, Flo showed up drunk to a performance at the Flamingo Hotel in Las Vegas. And Berry Gordy grabbed her arm backstage and said, "If you go on stage, I'll throw you off." Cindy Birdsong was already there, wearing Flo's costume, and that's how Florence Ballard's career ended, replaced mid-performance by Berry Gordy's order. A month later, Berry offered Flo a settlement. $15,000 one-time payment and a Cadillac. In exchange, she had to give up all rights to the Supreme's name, all future royalties, and agree to never claim she was a founding member. Flo signed it because she was broke and desperate. Berry knew that. He counted on it. Within a year, Flo had burned through the money. Her lawyer stole most of it. She sued Motown for proper royalties in 1971 and lost. Her house was foreclosed. She ended up on welfare with 3 daughters, living with her sister. The woman who'd sung on 16 top 40 singles, including 10 number ones, was collecting food stamps. In February 1976, she was attempting a comeback when she died of a heart attack. 32 years old, dead in her mother's house in Detroit. Berry Gordy paid for her funeral, same as Mary Wells. And at the funeral, Berry Gordy said nothing. Diana Ross sang, Mary Wilson spoke, but Berry stayed quiet because there was nothing he could say that would justify what he'd done. Florence Ballard built the Supremes. Berry Gordy made sure she died in poverty. And if you've ever wondered what the Motown family really meant, that's your answer. Family until you become a liability. Then you're disposable.